IIS components, how to install the SQL Express, and how to bring devices online. Okay, so as you know, these are the prerequisite for required for the Matrix software. The first thing is the IIS component. The second thing is the .NET framework, and the third thing is the SQL Express. Okay, so these are the only three things required. But how to do this, right? So let me quickly show you how we can begin first with downloading the Matrix software. So as you are aware that we have come up with a new portal, the partners portal, from where now you can download our softwares. And because earlier we used to use this FileZilla, if you all remember, to download the Matrix software. But now, for now you can still access it, but soon we are going to get rid of this, as we have basically moved from this to the partner portal. So I would request everyone who has not registered on our portal to please go and register as partner. And the moment you register, you will be able to log in and get a view of this over here. So, and once you log in, you can simply click on the register partners over here, and then you will be able to see a Matrix download center. Okay, so once you click on the Matrix download center, we have provided all the three options over here regarding which product that you want to download, say video surveillance, access control, time and attendance, and telecom. So you can, right now we are conducting the access control, time and attendance training. So I'll just quickly say access control, time and attendance. And then we have got all the versions, or we have also provided the provision of downloading the old version softwares as well, who for the customers who are using our earlier versions. But for the new customers, of course, you can go with the V20 version over here. And as you can see, our latest version is V20R11.2. So you can simply click on download, and the moment you click here, it will start downloading. Okay, it will ask you to save, and you can simply click on save, and it will start downloading. Okay, so for now I'm just canceling this because I already have the setup with me. But in your case, you can follow this process. Okay, Microsoft website, it will ask you to download SQL Server on Azure, on the edge, or on premise. Okay, but as you know, we are doing installation on the server, so you will have to select SQL Server on premise. Okay, the moment you will click there, it will say that 2022 is now available. This is the latest server available. Okay, the version 2022 is the latest one. And to download this, you'll have to simply fill up your details over here, right? And then you can start the download process. Okay, so I have already filled up all these details, and I have the setup folder with me. Okay, so once the download is done, you will be able to see a setup folder like this, SQL 2022. Okay, and the free version, it is called a evaluation version. Okay, for 2022, the SQL 2022, the version is called evaluation version. Okay, so moving to the next step, what to do after once you have installed the SQL Express. Okay, so once you install SQL Express, we need the two remaining things for the prerequisite are the IIS and the .NET framework. So why IIS and .NET framework is required? Okay, so let me tell you that this COSEC software, it is a web-based software. Okay, so to host any web-based software, uh, a .NET framework is required. Okay, because it is a Windows-based software. So to host it on our on the web, you will require .NET framework, and IIS is also required because you need a server to host it. Okay, so without any hosting server, it is not possible to, say for example, launch a website also. So if you must be aware of tools like XAMPP server, right? So XAMPP server is also a server on which you can like build a website on your system and host it. So similarly, we are not using XAMPP server, but we are using IIS. Okay, so which is a Microsoft inbuilt utility to host such applications which are built on web. Okay, so the next step to enable the .NET framework and IIS are in the control panel. Okay, so let me quickly open control panel and show you. So the moment you go to control panel over here, you can see that we have this programs and feature option. Okay, so once you click on programs and feature option, there will be an option to say turn on Windows features. Okay, so upon clicking over there, it will show you all the options over here. Okay, so there is option to enable .NET Framework 3.5, to enable 4.8 advanced services. So right now, the current latest software version, it is compatible with the .NET Framework 4.8 advanced services. So you need to enable these components, which I'm showing you over here. Okay, all these components need to be enabled. Okay, so doing this, it will finish our step of enabling the components required for the .NET framework. Okay, the next step will move forward is of enabling the IIS components. Okay, so the IIS components are on the same page over here. Okay, IIS stands for Internet Information Services. Okay, so you can simply see it over here. So once you click expand it, it has total 3 components inside it. The first is FTP server, which is not required in our case, but the major 2 data required are the web management tool and the World Wide Web services. Okay, so the moment you expand, you will be able to find the components under them, and you need to enable all the components that are under web management tools, as you can see over here, which I've already enabled. Okay, the next components that needs to be enabled are under World Wide Web services, and under World Wide Web services you can see there are total 5 components: application development features, HTTP features, health and diagnostic, performance features, and security. Okay, so what we suggest is that you enable all the components are under those main components. So as you can see, I have enabled all the components over here, right, for application development. Similarly for HTTP features. Okay, even for health and diagnostic, even for performance, and also for the security. Okay, so you need to enable all these features over here. So once this is done. Okay, enabling the internet information services features. Okay, and enabling the .NET framework. You will just click on OK, and it will start running the process of installation. So once this is done, all the prerequisite are sorted. Okay, and you can simply go to the browser. Okay, you can simply go to the browser and just type localhost. Okay, and once you type localhost, and you are able to get this page, that means that all the IIS component that you installed are perfectly running fine. SQL setup. So once uh, forward with installing the SQL Express setup. Okay, so let me start. I hope I have enough space in my system. I also tried to clear that. Okay, so this is the installation setup. Okay, and we say new SQL Server installation. And okay, so I'll just click on next, and it is scanning for updates which we don't need right now. Okay, okay, so over here, as you can see, it is asking that you want to perform a new installation. Okay, or you want to already add features to your existing instance. Okay, so I have already installed, so that's why it is giving me option. Okay, so even if you will be having SQL Express install, it will ask you this two option, but we are just doing in a way where nothing is installed, so we'll say perform a new installation. Okay, and I click on next. Okay, so as I told you earlier, now the free edition is called the evaluation edition over here, and we also have the express edition. Okay, but evaluation edition, it works. Okay, there is no key or nothing is required. Okay, so I'll just say specify free edition as evaluation, and then I'll click on next, and then I accept. Okay, I guess everyone knows this step. So now this Azure, okay, Azure extension is not required. Okay, so we can simply, remove the tick and skip this step. Okay, so now as you can see, over here we have, it is asking that what features you want to install. Okay, so the one that is required is the database engine services. Okay, in feature selection, you can say SQL Server application. Okay, the rest of the things that are mentioned over here, okay, are not really necessary, like machine learning. Okay, the semantics, analytics, analysis services are not required in our case. But if you just select all, as you can see, it will require this much of space. Okay, so I am just selecting that is required. Okay, for now. So it will also say that this much space is required and this much is available. Okay, so I'll click on next. Okay, so yeah, the question that was asked was how to name an instance. Okay, so you see that it provides you two options. One, that you can type any instance name, okay, that you want. I can type matrix. Okay, I can even type my name. Okay, it can be anything, right? But if you say default, then it will provide you a name default, okay, whichever the SQL has by default. So it is not compulsory to keep a default instance name or to have a unique name that you want. So it totally depends on you. Okay, so say for example, I want my unique name matrix 2025. I can have it as matrix 2025. Okay, and I can just simply click on next. Okay, so okay, it is saying that it is giving an error. So I guess it is the error of ID is required, but it is missing. Okay, so again it is asking over here to write the instance ID. Okay, and I can simply click on next. So now this will be your instance ID, matrix 2025, and this is your name. Okay, so the next step, it is asking you for the agent what the service type should be. So we can keep it as it is, that is right now. Okay, and no changes are required to be done over here. Okay, so you just click on next. So this is the main step that you need to remember. Okay, because a lot of time what happens when we say you need to install SQL Express, um, the authentication mode that we support, the matrix software support, is not Windows, it is mixed mode. Okay, so this is the major step that where you need to be careful before clicking on next, that you have to change from, by default it will be in Windows authentication mode. Okay, and you will have to change it to mixed mode and set a password over here. Okay, and because this password will be required to be entered when you are going to start the matrix software. Okay, installation of the matrix software. Okay, so even when you enter the password, we suggest to have a normal password, like say matrix M capital @123. Okay, matrix M capital @123. So not a big complex password and neither a simple password. Okay, have a decent password which you can remember, and which has one uppercase and one special character with which includes alphabets and numerics. Okay, so please remember this step, that you have to choose mix mode whenever you are on the page of authentication mode. Okay, once this is confirmed, you can simply click on next. Okay, okay, saying missing system administrator account. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I guess the reason why I am not able to move from this is because of my current AD. But I can say maybe add a current user over here. So see, this is how I can also add one current user. Or if there is any user in your profile for Windows that is specific to your account, you can add it, or you can just simply say add a current user. So I've just added my current user right now. Okay, and I just click on next, and it will start the installation over here. Okay, so
Right,
and
thank
now,
you.
yeah, no worries, no worries. It's fine. So now, say for example, we start with the setup. Okay, so once you have the setup, you will get a folder like this on premise v20 r8.2. Okay, and you can simply start the installation over here. Okay, so um, in my system right now, it is already installed. Okay, so I was thinking maybe I uninstalled, or wait a minute, let me just reinstall. My version was v20 r10. Okay, so even when you start the installation, it will ask you that which components you need to install. Okay, so you have to basically select all the components that are required to be installed. Okay, but let's just do this. So let's start the installation. Everyone can see the screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so you'll get two options that you want to do: complete installation or custom installation. So of course, when you are doing a new installation, we always say complete. Okay, and the moment you do that, okay, it will ask you to enter the address, server address. So now if you remember this, when we are doing the installation of SQL Express, we had added a name, before we were getting the error. So this is the same address that I have entered over here. Okay, but sometimes what happens, you get confused about that what should we enter, right? So you don't know the exact name. So to do that, if you'll have SSMS installed on the system, then you can simply get the name from here, the server name from here. Okay, so this is another way to find your server name. Okay, so yeah, now you can just copy paste the server name over here. As I mentioned earlier, that we only support SQL authentication. So you have to select SQL authentication. You enter the username SA. and we'll enter the password, the one that we entered during the installation of SQL server. Okay. And then you can do test connection. So once this is successful, you will be able to move forward. And when the installation of Matrix software is will happen, it will create two database. Okay, one will be the admin portal DB that will store the licenses details. Okay, and the other will be the COSEC DB that will store the actual user details and the configuration details. Okay, so I just move quickly on next, and it will ask me to start the installation. Okay, and it will simply start the installation like this. Which how to download software from the portal, the new portal, how we enable the components, how to install SQL Express. Okay, then of course how to install the COSEC software, which I showed you. And now the last step is how to bring the device online. Okay, so we have 25 minutes. So let me quickly move to the step of how to bring the device online. So let me stop presenting my screen, because I wanted to show you on the device itself. So see, you can see that I have a controller right now, okay, with me. So which which I'll connect through a LAN port, okay, with my laptop right now, back to back. Okay, so these are the initial steps that you will have to do. Okay, so I'll just connect it over here. Okay, and then I'll connect the other part with my laptop. Okay. so so when you'll have a brand new device, okay, all our controllers come with a default IP. Okay, and the default IP is 192.168.50.1. Okay, so whenever a brand new controller will come, all the controllers will have this default IP 50.1. Okay, but say for example, in cases where the device is already configured, say in my case, right, it is already configured, so how will I bring it online? Okay, I'll have to find the current IP. So the one that are having the display, we have the option, you can go inside, and in about device section, you will have to enter the password, and in that there is option for connectivity, and it will show you the current IP. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so you'll go to control
You
panel.
repeat again
Yeah, yeah,
all the
sure, sure.
steps
I'll
that
repeat
will
it
be
again. Don't worry.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So see, you will go to control panel and you will have the network settings option. Let me show you quickly. Okay. So you'll have the network sharing center over here. Okay. And once you go there, you will find this option, change adapter settings. Okay. So you can click there and you will get the Ethernet option. Okay. Because the device is connected through the Ethernet port. Right. So we'll click on properties over here. And then under the IPv4 settings, you can simply click on properties. Okay. And then you can say use the following IP. So what I will do, I will basically enter a IP that will fall in this range. Okay. So say for example, I'll say 192.168. What was our IP? dot 137.1. Anything apart from 10, because 10 is already used. Okay, so I can keep 1. Okay, so I can keep 1. And okay, it's asking to enter submit marks. Okay. Okay, so now we can see it should start pinging now. Okay. Okay, so you can see we are getting the ping response now. See, earlier we are not getting, and now we are able to get the ping response. Even if you want to see what will be my current IP, I can again type the ipconfig command, and you can see it has changed the IP to 137.1. Okay, so what we did basically is nothing but a simple networking concept, that the IP of the device was 192.168.137.10. Okay, so to get in on the same range, I configured the IP of my system on 137.1. And now if I ping on the device IP, oh man, okay, I can get the ping response over here. Okay, so now what is the next step after this? Okay, so the next step is okay, our installation is still going on. Okay, let this happen, it's fine. The next step is to enter the IP on the browser. Okay, so once you do this, a page like this will open, where it will ask you to enter the password for the username admin. So the default password is 1234. Okay, so right now you can see it is connected, but in our case it will be Centra, because we are doing on-premise installation. And then I don't want to do anything right now. It will reboot the device, and then the most important thing, okay, I'll have to do it, otherwise it will not bring that option. Okay, let me just change it. So now the device will reboot because I have changed the connection type. And the same time, you can see the ping will be disconnected till it is booting up. Okay. Okay, so see, this is how the device page will look like when the first time you log in with the IP. Okay, so we are using Centra, so you'll have to keep it as Centra over here, right? And in the LAN settings, you can see what is the IP. Okay, that is the current one. So if you want to change the IP from here, you can all of course do that, right? And also if you want to check the test connection on the server, so I can enter my server IP and check, if something is not blocking on my system. So this was my server IP.
To follow.
Say for example, this is coming failed. Okay. If it is not getting success, then what could be the issue? So most of the time, what happens is the Windows firewall is on. Okay. So you can go to this Windows Defender firewall over here. Okay. And then, oh, okay, I'll have to open it as administrator in my system. And once you do that, you can simply go to Windows Defender Firewall Properties. Okay. And right now I already kept it as off, but in your case, it will be on and you can turn it off. Okay. For private, public, and domain. Simply turn it off. Okay.
All our firewalls in off mode, and
Yes,
then
yes.
they work.
Especially Windows Defender Firewall. If it is not
Oh,
getting success. Okay.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So this is another troubleshooting step that I am just explaining what happens, when device doesn't get online and what you can do. So once this is done, the next step is to go to server settings. Okay. In the server settings, by default, a IP will be entered and which is going to be incorrect. So what will be the server IP in our case? Can anyone tell me? Anyone, please? I would
137.1.
exactly.
137.1
Why 137.1? Why? Because our system IP
IP is
over here,
1.
if
1.
yeah, it is 137.1, right?
1. Yes.
Right. It is 137.1. So it can be anything. So we have to make sure that the IP over here is entered correctly. Okay. And once this is done, the device will come online. Okay. So yeah, these are the things which needs to be checked.